Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're tackling the rise of Genghis Khan,
Oh, yeah.
from his birth as Temujin to becoming the legendary Genghis Khan in 1206.
It's going to be a wild ride.
We're going deep into excerpts from the Wikipedia article on Rise of Genghis Khan.
Before going to the full video, need to manage multiple accounts safely and securely? GoLogin is the best browser for multi-accounting. With GoLogin, you can create multiple browser profiles, stay anonymous, and avoid bans. Perfect for marketers, freelancers, or anyone looking to stay under the radar online. Click the link below and take control of your online presence with GoLogin today. Okay, back to the video.
Cool.
You know, when you think Genghis Khan, you think epic battles, right?
Right.
But there's so much more to his story than just that.
So much.
It's all about shifting alliances, political maneuvering, really getting a glimpse into this pivotal era of Mongol history.
It's fascinating.
Before we even get to Genghis Khan himself,
Yeah.
the Mongols, as a people, their story is already pretty interesting.
Oh, for sure.
A mix of historical record and,
Mythology.
Yeah, a lot of cool mythology there.
So paint the picture for us. Who are the Mongols before Genghis Khan?
So if we go way back, like Tang Dynasty records,
Okay.
we see mentions of them as part of the Shiwei.
The Shiwei.
These guys were vassals to the Gokturks.
Vassal, so under their control, basically.
Exactly. And over time, they migrated west,
Hmm.
became vassals to the Khitans, eventually settling around the Onan and Kurlan rivers.
So we already see this theme of the Mongols connected to powerful empires.
Right.
But you mentioned mythology earlier.
Oh, yeah. The Mongols have a great origin story.
Laid on us.
It involves a blue-gray wolf and a fallow doe.
Okay.
They journey across a lake, this lake is important, to Burkhan Khaldun.
Burkhan Khaldun, got it.
And there, they give birth to the ancestor of all Mongols.
Whoa, that's pretty epic.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Connects them to the land, their nomadic roots.
Really sets the stage.
Totally.
All right, let's bring in Temujin, the man who becomes Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Even his birth year is debated, right?
Yeah, historians haven't pinned it down exactly.
So what are we working with?
1155, 1162, 1167, all possibilities.
Wow, quite a range.
But one thing's certain, his childhood was rough.
Rough. How?
Well, imagine seeing your father poisoned by the Tatars,
Ugh, horrible.
and then the struggle for survival with his mother,
Yeah.
and then the sibling rivalry. Oh, man, intense. There's a story in the Wikipedia article about Temujin and his half-brother, Bektir,
Victor?
over a hunted fish. Was that common back then?
Sadly, yeah, it shows the harsh realities of that time.
Like a glimpse into how tough Temujin had to be.
No, definitely probably shaped his ruthlessness.
It makes you wonder, all these events shaping the man who'd unite the Mongols,
Powerful stuff.
and then the journey from this difficult start to becoming Genghis Khan.
Transformation?
Oh, it wasn't overnight, right?
No, it was years of strategic brilliance.
Cunning,
Politics.
knowing who to trust, who to betray.
When to forge alliances, when to break them.
Exactly. Always playing the game.
So what were some of the biggest turning points in Temujin's rise?
Well, gotta start with his marriage to Berke.
Okay.
Significant event, although
Although,
she was kidnapped soon after by the Merkits.
talk about a rough start to a marriage.
It was, but Temujin, with his allies,
Yeah.
they got her back.
Showing how crucial those alliances were.
For sure.
And then there's that Battle of Dallin Balshut. Oh, yeah, pivotal.
Where he and his blood brother Jamuka split.
Like their rivalry personified?
But beyond military might, Temujin, he was a master strategist,
Oh, yeah.
playing the long game, using diplomacy to his advantage.
Right.
So he was a politician too, not just a warrior.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, think about it. He played rivals against each other,
Like a chess master.
forging alliances, breaking them, whatever benefited him.
He even might have served the Jin dynasty for a while.
Wow, seriously.
Yeah, maybe to gain experience, resources.
Makes you think, was he always planning to overthrow them?
Or was it a genuine alliance at the time? We may never know.
He was navigating a web of alliances, really complex stuff.
Sure.
But how did he ultimately unite all the Mongol tribes? That's huge.
Well, his conquests were key.
Like against who?
The Merkits, the Naimans, big victories.
And of course, defeating his rival, Jamuka.
Yeah, that solidified everything.
So by 1206, Temujin had done it.
He'd proven himself as a leader,
Earned the title Genghis Khan,
unified the Mongols.
from a boy facing hardship to a leader of a unified people.
Crazy journey, right?
It makes you think, destiny or sheer will?
Both, maybe.
We're just scratching the surface here.
Oh, yeah, there's so much more to his story.
In part 2, We'll dive into the organizational structures of his empire.
Can't wait.
Stay
Right.
tuned.
It's pretty amazing, right? You conquer all this territory, but then what?
Yeah, you can't just win battles and call it a day. You need to rule.
And that's where Genghis Khan's reforms come in. So fascinating.
So he was thinking about how to actually govern, not just conquer.
Exactly. Building a system, a lasting structure.
But how did he approach this? How did he structure Mongol society?
He had a real knack for spotting talent, putting it to use.
Yeah.
Knew a strong empire needed a solid base.
So what did he do?
Implemented this system called the Mingen,
The Mingen.
basically dividing society into units of 1,000 people.
Okay, I'm listening. Break it down for me. How'd it work?
So picture this, a system that blends military, household, even taxes.
All in one.
Yep, that's the Mingen. Each unit, like a mini society.
Interesting.
They'd supply warriors, manage their households, pay taxes.
So organized, efficient.
Right, and it worked across this massive growing empire.
Genius. So it wasn't just splitting people up. It was about roles.
Each unit with a purpose in the bigger system.
Like a giant machine, all the parts working together.
Precisely. And speaking of roles, what about Genghis Khan's family?
Oh, yeah. They must have been in the mix somehow.
Absolutely. Key players, they were the Altan Ura,
The Altan Ura.
meaning golden kin. They got territories, you know,
Makes sense. Rewarding those closest to him.
but also control over those Mingen units, important.
So consolidating power, keeping it within the family.
Smart move for stability.
But ruling such a vast territory can't just rely on family.
No way, especially when built on conquest, you need loyalty.
How do you secure that?
That's where the Kishig come in.
The Kishik, who were they?
Elite bodyguard unit, the best of the best.
Okay, but what made them so special?
Get this, they were the sons of his commanders.
Whoa, so a highly skilled force, a way to keep commanders in line.
Exactly. Tie the next generation to his leadership.
Thinking long term, very clever,
The Kishig were fiercely loyal, protected Genghis Khan.
and probably fostered unity amongst the leadership too.
Exactly. Future generations invested in the empire's success.
So these reforms, along with his military genius, that's the foundation.
Of the Mongol Empire's expansion and dominance.
It's amazing. We started with Temujin's tough upbringing,
Yeah.
his rise to Genghis Khan unifying the Mongols.
Unbelievable story.
Now we see he wasn't just about conquering.
Nope.
He was a builder, an organizer, understood lasting power.
It's more than just force. It's about systems that endure.
Powerful stuff. Before we go to our final part,
Yeah.
I want to hear from you what's resonated with you most so far.
Oh, that's a good question.
Is it his ambition, his strategy, his understanding of power?
It's so fascinating.
Think about that as we head into the last part of our deep dive. You know, we focus so much on Genghis Khan as this individual,
Yeah.
but I think it's important to remember the world he came from.
Oh, absolutely. The context is everything.
Before he unified them, the Mongol tribes, they were always fighting.
Right. Constant clashes, alliances changing all the time.
It sounds chaotic.
It was a real struggle for survival.
Strength, cunning, knowing who to trust, that's how you survive.
Exactly. So was Genghis Khan just a product of this chaos?
Like, was he destined to be a conqueror?
It's the question, isn't it?
Was he just this force of nature driven by ambition?
Or did he bring order to this fractured world?
Uniting the Mongols, building an empire.
It's fascinating how differently his story can be interpreted.
Yeah, it really makes you think.
We see him as this brilliant military leader, winning battles.
But we can't forget the brutality.
The violence that came with those conquests.
It's a tough part of the story.
And that's what makes history so interesting.
There's no easy answers, no black and white.
We're left grappling with his legacy.
The good and the bad, the impact he had on the world.
It challenges us to think critically.
Not just label him as a hero or a villain.
History's complex, full of contradictions, just like life.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Genghis Khan, what's the takeaway?
What can we learn from him all these centuries later?
It's a good question.
For me, it's about leadership, organization, adaptability,
He was a brilliant strategist.
but he also knew how to unite people under a shared vision.
To build a system that not only conquered but lasted.
That's understanding power, real power.
And he wasn't afraid to shake things up, break traditions.
Implement new reforms, reshape the world.
What can modern leaders learn from him?
A lot, I think, his approach to governance, organization.
It's worth thinking about.
So as we conclude, I hope you'll reflect on Genghis Khan.
His story, the triumphs, the tragedies, ambition, brutality.
Elevation, destruction, it's all there.
He continues to fascinate, to challenge us.
Centuries later.
We've only scratched the surface, but hopefully you've learned something new.
About Genghis Khan, about the world he shaped.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning.
And keep diving deep into history.